Liberty, with you for every step on the road to financial freedom.
If you're like me, you're hoping to retire comfortably from your 9 to 5 or from your own business one day. But many South Africans start thinking about their retirement finances a little too late. So if you've hit your 40s and 50s and you're worried that you might not have enough stashed away, I've invited wealth manager and best-selling author Warren Ingram to explain what you can do to make up for that lost time. Warren, thank you so much for spending some time with us on FinSmart.
Thanks, Tony. Nice to be on the show.
So let's start right at the beginning. How does one actually calculate how much they will need at retirement?
I think the starting point is to understand how you spend your money, because your expenses dictate how much capital you need at retirement. So, for example, if you spend 20,000 Rand a month, take that monthly amount, multiply it by 12 to get to your yearly amount, and then take all the things that you don't spend money on a regular basis. For example, a car. And you say, well, I'm going to spend money on a car every 5 years. Take the 5-year amount, divide it by 5 to get to the 1-year amount, add that together and say, this is how much I spend on a yearly basis. Now, for most people, when they see that, they start to have heart palpitations. So once you've calmed down, take that yearly amount, multiply it by 25, and that tells you how much capital you need at retirement.
Okay, so we live longer. I now know exactly how much my funds should last me at retirement. When should I start investing in my retirement?
Well, you're asking a financial planner, when should you start saving? It's like the personal trainer, right? It's going to be as early as possible.
Yeah.
So the truth is, waiting does hurt you a little bit, but most of us tend to take this seriously at about age 48.
But 48 seems a bit late. What are the consequences of, starting that late or even later on?
The later you start, the understanding there is that you're giving your money less time to grow. So the mathematicians talk about compounding. So you're giving your capital less time for it to grow on itself. So what that means is you need to start saving a lot more when you get to that age, if you're going to start late. And then you need to be really disciplined about controlling your expenses and get your capital to grow as fast as possible. But it's never too late. So if you're sitting there at 48 or 50 and saying, well, I haven't started, it's never going to happen for me, that's not true. You need to just get going, and it gets possible, it gets easier.
Now, Warren, a lot of people say, listen, I've got school fees, I've got what we call black tax, I'm looking after, so forth, which is a fantastic thing to do. And they tend to push everything that you've said aside. What do you say to that?
So let's talk about black tax. I think we should call it Ubuntu, right? Because we're helping our families, friends, and community. To me, it's about saying, when you get into an airplane, the first thing they tell you is, if there's an emergency and that oxygen mask drops off, don't help everyone else first. Put the mask on yourself, because if you're alive and you're fit, you can help everybody else. And I think it's the same with money. You've got to be able to take care of yourself financially. That's not being selfish. It's putting yourself in a position that you can help more of your family for longer.
So Warren, I'm close to retirement, which I probably am.
Well, you look great. Well done.
Not just yet. What are the considerations I should start making? And I'm talking about downscaling here.
So that's, again, it's about trade-offs. It's about saying, well, do I still want to drive the big fancy car and impress all my friends? Or am I happy to drive a smaller car that's still safe? Maybe not a new car, maybe it's a 1 or 2 or 3-year-old car. And it's about saying, what's really important for me now at this stage of life? Is it important to get to my financial freedom goals? Or is it important to impress my friends, live in the big houses? You've got to decide that. And I think a lot of people leading up to retirement, they make a lot of assumptions without having conversations with their spouse to say, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go? So take control of what your objectives are in life, and then make the trade-off decisions. And you might find you actually simplify life and actually have a better life. And it's not downscaling, it kind of gives you a new form of freedom.
Okay, Warren, one last piece of advice.
My last piece of advice is, I think we need to understand money problems. If most of us have money problems somewhere in life, money problems are not going to go away if you ignore them, if you just let them carry on. You've got to take control of your money, take action, and then day by day work on those money problems. You won't solve them overnight, but if you take little steps every single day, you'll find that those money problems go away quite quickly.
Warren, thank you so much for joining us on FinSmart. Well, there you have it. While it's always best to start saving for your retirement as early as possible, it's also never too late to take control and actually do the sums and to ask a financial advisor for help to achieve your financial goals so that you can enjoy the fruits of all those years of hard work.
It's not just your financial freedom, it's your liberty. Let's make it count. Liberty, in it with you.